Greetings, YouTube. How you guys doing today? I wanted to talk a little bit about, I was looking at some YouTube videos here, different stuff that the police are doing, and I was watching just this one guy, and I hope the guy knows what he's doing and what he's talking about, because he mentioned, the cop, he was filming something in the subway, and cop, walked, 30, 40 feet over to him, and he's like, what am I doing wrong? You closed the distance on me. You know what I'm saying? You walked, 40 feet all the way over to here. I'm not doing nothing wrong. This is a public subway. What's the problem? Cop, king shit cop. They all got the same attitude, man gods, you do what I say because I will fuck you up and I will get away with it, And you see the poor, you see how these guys are operating. Why, when you guys, there's 3 or 4 of you, you're holding someone to the ground, and you ever notice the dude doing the hitting is always repeating over and over, stop resisting, because he knows what he's doing is wrong, and he has to justify in his own mind that he is right, he's enforcing the law. He keeps people safe, right? He's a hero. And then he goes home to his fucking wife, who he probably abuses, and his retarded kids because, he's been fried by radiation all day while he's driving around in his car. And so they're talking here up in Michigan on the news. Well, anyway, the guy, he's like, you own a house? He's like, I hope it's paid off, He's like, arrest me, man, arrest me. And that's what, once you learn how that's the reality once you learn how their system operates. And that's how you go after people. Understand, they're all bonded and insured. And they work for a company, a corporation. And that's how, it showed on the news. The news covered this story, and it was talking about, the police department's doing an internal investigation. Oh, come on, man. I see it all the time on the news. People, they're been mistreated or abused. That's all it takes is once a police officer pulls you over, he's created a lawful injury for you. He's violated your rights to free travel without restrictions. You know what I'm saying? He's committing treason. He's not allowed to pull anybody over outside of that 10-mile square radius in Washington, D.C. People don't know this. These courts don't have jurisdiction in the land that they're in. They're called kangaroo courts. They're not even real. But, so they're talking up here in Michigan how, talking to a passenger in your car is just as dangerous as texting and driving and talking on a cell phone and driving. And you see where they're going for this. It's not going to be much longer to where they're going to have ways to where they can check whether you washed your hands or not after you took a shit, because you could possibly be a threat to the public and contaminate them with E. coli. Who knows what they could do with the laws, because you can come up with an unlimited amount of what-if reasons, And I want to talk a little bit about the New World Order, because I think a lot of people, they don't get what the whole New World Order is. They're thinking that the New World Order is something coming, and I think it's just another one of the gates and the psyops of the Matrix. It's done already. It was the final stages of the New World Order was like in 1817. Because remember, like I said, they wanted to build an empire greater than all the ones that come previous, greater than Babylon, greater than Medo-Persia, greater than Greece and Rome. And when they did this, when we look back in Daniel's prophecy and the prophecies in Revelation, you can see where they did this. And it was with the establishment of the Vatican, That was the first, that was the foundation of their new empire, the spiritual foundation, the first pillar. And the second pillar came through London. That's the second pillar to their empire, the financial district. And then they completed their new empire when they created the DC Corporation in the Americas, the United States of America Corporation. That's the military pillar, and the military district. That's the New World Order right there. That's world control right there. They control the whole world through the three pillars. And the boot's always been on us, and I don't know what, it's interesting to see what we're going to see in the next couple of years. I mean, I don't know, are they really going to start putting the weight down on the boot? That's what I'm saying. When you're talking about coming out with laws, like you can't even talk to passengers in your car, it's interesting to see where it's going. I mean, we already know, like I said, it's been ingrained into the slave never to trust and love nobody but their master. And you can see how people behave towards each other out here, and they're still, they'll still defend the cops. I mean, they'll stand there, guy not doing nothing to nobody, sit there and watch them beat the hell out of him and say, oh, well, he must have did something, he must have done something real bad, for the cops to be doing this to him, right? They don't even think, They'll sit there and watch 3 or 4 cops put you in a coma. But if you were, by whatever reason, were minding your own business and some king shit cop decided he wanted to bully you, and you started getting the best of him, you believe every citizen around would pounce on your ass and jump to his rescue. Oh, yeah, man. You see it. You see it. Responsible, law-abiding citizen who had a permit to carry a pistol aids the police. Now he feels special, right? Sorry. But yeah, New World Order, man, that's old shit, Really, it is. Look into it. The only thing I could see them doing now, is, I mean, we know a little bit, about the whole spiritual aspect of this stuff and fallen angels and stuff like that. That's the only thing they really got to get people, that's the only thing left, is to indoctrinate people into accepting, that will the New World Order in our own eyes, because we still believe that, this is a separate nation, separate from the rest of the world. That's all. The New World Order is a reality, full force reality. They just need to get people on track with, it works a little bit different, than you were thinking. And how do they want to do it? You would think that they're going to wait for my generation to fall off. Because, once they wait for guys like me, some of these guys, other guys out here, Daniel Pratt, Richie from Boston, once we're gone, nobody even knows what America used to be like at one time, man. They're restructuring the school system, how they're teaching kids, you know what I'm saying? And you don't even have to go to school here soon, man. You can do everything at home right from the computer, Which I'll tell you right now, man, a lot of you guys out here are talking shit, man, because other people are starting to monetize stuff, man. And some people are even asking for a little bit of help. And, I'll tell you right now, there's, I got much respect. A lot of you truthers, you still send your kids to public school, right? You still, what's messed you up, but you still send your kids to public school. I mean, that just tells me you don't even give a shit about your kids, And I don't think of a more honorable and just thing that you could do as to help protect the mind of an innocent child with a father that's trying to keep them out of school or trying to homeschool them, man. I mean, what better thing that you could do? I mean, you need to help protect them children, man, because I'll tell you right, they've erased the whole village mentality out of us, man. That's one thing, like I said, when I went over to Indonesia, you didn't have the cops. No, the village elders is what ran the show over there. You know what I'm saying? And, and that's that's how it's always worked in a society. And it was the elders, no matter what. That's just, it's just so simple, Yeah, you're my older brother. I listen to you, We both listen to Dad. We all listen to Grandpa. And everybody listens to great-grandfather. And you got, the group of elders in the village that if there's a family dispute or anything like that, they go to the elders for counseling and how they can settle it in a fair way that's fair for everybody. That village mentality, we got to get that back, man. Those children and their innocent minds, that's all of our responsibilities, right? To protect that. That is, it's very important. So people out here that are trying to monetize and make money, and I'll tell you right now, man, it's hard. My body's giving out on me, man. And when your body gives out on you, man, all you people that are having a hard time maintaining with a good job and a health, take away your health and a good job. Now, and throw you back out there and say, ain't shit changed. You still got the same bills. You got the same everything. It's hard, man. Believe that. And don't judge other people if you don't know what it's like to go through that whole situation. I just don't see, like I said, my goal is to get out of America, man. If you're in the Western nations, man, you need to get out, man. There's better places for you and your family, man. And anybody that's making money, you look at all these people, the entrepreneurs and stuff like that, especially the people that are doing it with e-commerce, that's the first thing they do is leave America. Go down to Costa Rica or something, Thailand, wherever, you know what I'm saying, where your money goes a long way. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's interesting to see what's going to happen. I just know one thing, ain't no one going to do nothing, Look at all these guys in the militia. I'm calling you guys out right now, man. You guys, go ahead, take all that shit you got, spend it, and enjoy your life, dude. Take a vacation somewhere, because you're not going to do nothing with it. And when you die, it'll just be left to whatever wolves in your family are going to fight over what you leave over so they can sell and split it anyway. So, turn that shit into some cash. You guys got these $10,000, $12,000 anti-material sniper rifles, and these planes are doing what they're doing up there. I mean, 50 caliber, 20 millimeter sniper rifles. You could shoot that plane on a runway from 2 miles away and hit the engine and take it out. You ain't got to hurt nobody, you know what I'm saying? Or all these cell phone tires. You guys are spending, several dollars on a round of this ammunition that's designed to take hard targets out, and you're shooting fucking watermelons, man. Shut up, man. You ain't gonna do nothing. And if you guys do nothing, you just fall for the traps and you show up, out here when, they'll throw some rancher out here protesting against taxes and he needs help. They're gonna rob him of his land. It's been in his family for generations, and you guys grab your guns and you all run out there like a bunch of dummies. And it was bullshit in the first place, because let me tell you, they don't videotape the militia and people making the FBI turn around and go home, unless they're doing it for a reason. And that's what they did. It was a boost in the morale of the Patriot movement, number one. You got you guys thinking that, yeah, you're gonna do something. And two, look at the whole situation with the different groups that were out there, the Oath Keepers and these others. If you go on YouTube, you can see it's all about, yeah, they were fighting. They were all there fighting with each other, And that's what it was all about, man. You guys don't think if for whatever reason they wanted that rancher, number one, if they were going to send the FBI to take that rancher down, they would close off that area. There wouldn't be no media. There wouldn't be no videotapes, So, I don't know, man. I think the biggest part is people are just not really understanding, like I said, that new empire, man. The New World Order has been in full effect since 1817, After that, it was just managing it. It was established. It was just managing it. Prepping is important because we don't really know what's going to happen here in the next few years, guys. Really, what is really going to happen? And this is my worst fear right now. When are we going to, before we know what's real and what's not even real? You know what I'm saying? I mean, who knows what's real and what's not real? I mean, you can do, a lot of these guys that'll tear down these news articles and news stories, and they can show you it's fake. You know what I'm saying? But my whole thing is, you got to respect your enemy. And I would be naive to think that part of their controlled opposition wouldn't be made just for truthers. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you would be stupid to think that they aren't thinking that way. Okay, we got these truthers out here, and they got the truth movement. There's a certain amount of people that have figured it out. So we need to step it up a little bit just for them, and put some information out there that they're just not even going to know whether it's real or not, Because we already know, I started looking, like I said, I stopped looking at this. Once you get to the scriptures, you don't need to even look anywhere else no more, But it's interesting to know what's happening, what's going on, and to try to, you got to try to help other people get out of the situation they're in with their mind and see what's happening, right? And you're not going to change nothing in the overall, but you can change things for that person, And all this, you got these guys showing that these wars are all fake. And I told myself, I said, okay, all war can't be fake. You know what I'm saying? But let's go look into this because there's definitely, all wars based on lies. Usually. So let's see what I can gather with just some quick common sense searches, So I looked up, the deaths in our military during peacetime compared to combat, and it was fucked up, man. In the 70s and 80s during peacetime, more people died in the military and got injured than they did during combat, active duty. So it's all, So now what is real war and what is not? There's going to be real wars, because we know people fight with each other. But what is real, what's not? Who's being manipulated? I mean, I used to be a real big fan of, some of the resistance groups in the Middle East, Especially, certain areas, you see what's happening over in Israel with the surrounding areas. And I just looked at stuff simple, Wait a minute. You got a displaced people, displaced nations. Some of them are refugees, huge refugee camps with thousands and thousands of people in them. And you got this side over here that's got, an advanced military. And when you break it down simple, you got a guy with a multi-million-dollar plane dropping a bomb that costs hundreds of thousands of dollars on homeless people, right? No, they're terrorists. They're terrorizing us. We can't. Wait a minute, man. That don't even make sense, right? And then they start looking more and more at military tactics and the stuff you just see on the news here in America too, with like shootings and stuff like that. And I studied, back when I was real militant and radical. I wanted to know everything there was about defeating your enemy, And that's why you militia guys, you're going to lose. Everything you think you're going to do is going to be in vain because you don't even understand how warfare works, since the whole psychological aspect of it and the psyops, You're going to lose, man. And you start looking at stories, September 11th, man. Why? Okay, you clearly there's somebody out here, they're telling us that has a problem with this, and they want to do harm to us. As much harm as they can, right? Well, if that was the case, why the hell would you attack those two towers in New York, You could have easily attacked the power grid. And let me tell you, you want to hurt someone, take away their comfort in America. They wouldn't know what to do. They wouldn't make it a week without the utilities in their domicile. Clean water, fresh water, heat, catch them in the wintertime. They don't know what to do, man. And that's what people don't understand. They think that, I will never go to a FEMA camp. Shut up, man. You'll be begging for a spot in that FEMA camp. And you start just seeing even the stories over in the Middle East, the tactics that they're using during warfare. It don't even make sense, Whose asinine decision was it to send a bunch of Navy SEALs, if they even did this? It could all be lies, we don't know. But whose asinine decision was it to send a group of Navy SEALs in a Chinook helicopter into a valley surrounded by mountains? I don't even have to be a military tactician to think that as soon as that helicopter got into that valley, that it would start receiving, fire from the top of the mountain all the way down to the ground by small and heavy, arms, You think that a Navy SEAL would say, what are you guys asking me to do? No, these are the experts. This is where a lot of funding goes into training because, you can't spend, a Navy SEAL gets special training because he's a small unit, It costs a lot of money to train the Marines how to shoot a rifle. That's why they get basic training on how to shoot a rifle. The difference between a Navy SEAL and a Marine would be they spent the money on his training. A Marine, he can pass the qualification test for hitting hit the target downrange for qualification, and a Navy SEAL, he can run and hit that target between the eyes because they've spent the money to let him, train on that rifle. So you'd think with all the training these guys got, if they even asked them to do that, they would say, I'll take my chances playing Russian roulette. My chances with a game of Russian roulette are better than for what you guys are asking me to do. So you see, even some of the maneuvers and just the whole strategy is bullshit. And it's the same thing with a lot of people giving prepper advice out here. Man, a lot of people are giving people advice that's going to get them in a bad situation, man. Look at the way people treat each other today in America. Now take away the laws, a real bad situation. Whoever knows, financial collapse, natural disaster, planned disaster, who knows? Whatever they want to do. Now take all these displaced people that never prepared for this situation that guys like me and you know are coming, and you're running around with a big-ass backpack full of food and stuff on it. That's probably not the smartest idea, you know what I'm saying? Because I'll tell you right now, back when I was in a different state of mind, if I would have come across, that would have been mine, you know what I'm saying? I would have took it from you. And there's a lot of guys out there, don't underestimate the population, man, because you know what, there's guys out there watching you prep with that in their mind. Why would I spend my money? I'll let this guy spend it, and me and my boys will just take it from him, right? So, be smart with your prepping, If you're going to be prepping, the whole concept of bugging out is shit happens fast. You didn't know it was going to happen. It goes down. There's no warning for you to try to get out the city or whatever, ahead of time of everybody else, and you're dealing. You're right in the trench, So, camouflage, that's your best weapon right there is camouflage. Everything that you need, you should be able to fit under a coat. Stay away from people, man. If you see people, go in the opposite direction. Especially if they're wearing a uniform. Stay hidden, I'm lucky here in Michigan, because you can literally navigate the whole state through small rivers and tributaries and abandoned railroads and railroad tracks. And that's where you guys got to stick. If you're close to some type of river, that's what you need to do. Hide a canoe out there. somewhere where you can, you'll be able to navigate. You ain't going to be coming across people. I'm sure you won't be the only person thinking that way, but you're talking very few. People are going to be clogged up in the roads. People are be going into whatever help the government's going to get them. Like I said, they know how each one of us will potentially behave, and got it set up to deal with that group of people. The survival is the road alone, man. You're not going to, you can't think, oh, I'm going to group up with some like-minded people. Stay away from people, man. Don't ever put yourself in a position, especially if you got family around you, man, that you're responsible for and taking care of. Don't ever put yourself in a position where you can be outgunned, outthought, outmaneuvered, or outnumbered. Don't even do it. Eliminate that possibility by staying away from people in the first place. And, find a remote area where you think that, like I said, some people, that's already their plan to get to a remote area. So find an area where you think, it's very remote. And, stock some stuff up on there, one of the best investments you can make is a piece of land. But, because a piece of land, you can always take care of yourself and your family with a piece of land. But with that, when the bottom falls out, that paper that says you own that land, it doesn't even matter no more. So just find an area, that's where you put your supplies, if you're going to spend some money on survival materials, you know what I'm saying? You want everything that you need to get from point A to point B to be able to fit under a coat. And you don't need that much. You're not going camping. You don't need a tent. You don't need an entrenching shovel. What are you doing, man? I don't understand. This is real. This is serious stuff going on. It's not camping. You should be able to get away with the, you if you got kids, it doesn't take much. A couple energy bars a day to sustain yourself, and some water. That's it. And you should be able to make, whether it takes, a day to get to where you're trying to go on foot, or 20 days, you should be able to fit everything on you and hide it. I don't know. It's weird. It's kind of weird and a little bit. It's not scary. I think it's more interesting. I mean, we know that it's not good. You know what I'm saying? We know it's not good. But it's interesting to see how they'll maneuver. Because the reality is, they don't need to let my generation fall off. Yeah, it would be a lot easier, because once we're gone, I mean, people won't even know that the cops were decent guys at one time. You know what I'm saying? They'll only know what they see today coming up, and that will be normal to them. The military presence will be normal to them. And I think that's the only thing that they would achieve, by letting our generation fall off, is the military presence of brute force would be just an everyday normal thing. The guys my generation of the Constitution, they'll be gone. There will be nobody to go after that cop and destroy his life, because he knows how to do it. And like I said, that's how you do it. All these guys are bonded and insured, and that's what you go after. You go after the bond and insure, and you go after them personally. You don't go to the same people that just did you wrong and ask them for results. You have to do it yourself, and you have to learn how to do it, and you can do it, and I've seen it done. And you can really, what's nobody want to do? They don't want to lose their livelihood and how they provide for their family. And let me tell you, you can really mess these guys up, because once you go after the bond and insurance, they'll never be bonded and insured again. You're really messing them up. It'll be hard for them to work in that field ever again. I don't know. We'll see what happens here. You just see, though, when they start talking laws, like, they're gonna start, ticketing people if they catch you talking to the passenger in the vehicle and stuff like that. I mean, I don't know. We'll see. You guys have a great day. Try helping someone out today that you don't know if you can, man. Like I said, we got to get that village mentality back, because that's important. That's important for a healthy society. You guys have a great day.